Welcome to the Science of Fishing, where we break down the bite. Before we get started, big shout out to our sponsor, Bloody Battery, for powering this episode.
What's going on, everybody? Mark here with another episode of the Science of Fishing. I'm here with Coach Jimmy Johnson, NFL Hall of Fame coach, guy, go Canes, baby.
Yes.
And Brick Peoples. We're here at Coach's Tackle Room. Coach, this is a phenomenal area to be in. I am in awe at the amount of gear that you have.
This is my sanctuary.
Yeah.
You know, when I want to kind of get away and be by myself, I'll come in here and I'll rig a couple of lures and I'll fiddle around. And, you know, and then if I go fishing, I'll just kind of take my charge. Well, I'll take these 3 or 4 rods. Yeah. Because a lot of times I fish by myself. And so I've got to have plenty of tackle. I got to have plenty of rod and reels.
That makes sense. I love that. I mean, I see you have a beautiful boat out there. What do you got out there?
I've got a couple of CBs.
Okay.
You know, one twin diesel, one triple 350s.
Oh, the inboard. The inboard.
I got one inboard, one outboard.
There you go.
The inboard, actually, I love it. It's smooth, economical. You know, I've had it for years.
I love that. I love that, Coach. Yeah. So, Brick, you're down here in South Florida too, right?
Yes, I live up in Miami.
There you go. Same here. There we go. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, you are the tournament director, correct?
I am the tournament director, and I'm a captain. I've been a captain for 48 years out of Miami. I've fished all over the world and been doing it a very long time.
I love that.
In fact, while you were setting up, Brick rigged me up a kingfish lure. So okay. I'll put a spoon out there here the next time I go out for kingfish.
Yep.
There you go. Some wire leader, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yep. Got to make
it's
sure.
It's all ready to go. He's got it ready.
All right, let's get out right after this episode, right?
You know, I don't know if we want to do that. If you looked at the weather out there.
It's a little rain.
I've gotten soft over the years. If I see white caps, I don't go.
You're done. I get you. Well, awesome. Well, we're here to talk about Jimmy Johnson Fish Week. You got your tournament up in Atlantic City coming up in a couple months, a few weeks. I don't know.
Like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we've been in South Florida for 15 years. They had fantastic, tournament, Hard Rock. You know, they've worked with us. And then, 5 years ago, we started in Atlantic City in Golden Nugget and Hard Rock, and it has been phenomenal. You know, the turnout has been great. You know, it's grown every single year. And in fact, the last 4 years, the average payout was $1.5 million each year. You know, that's been the minimum that we paid for the last 4 years, Brick.
Yeah, it's been great. And we're trying to expand. We've moved down to Ocean City. We have a new weigh station down there, and we're trying to get that off the ground. Last year we had 6 boats, and now we're trying to get 20 this year so we can get up there, because the more boats we get, the more money we pay out.
Right. The payout's going up this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. So that's amazing. So you guys have a new weigh station, right? You're listening to what the people want, right?
We do a big survey every year after the tournament, and then we look at it and we see what we can do and what's best for everybody. Because a lot of people they want to do what's best for them, but we have to look at it as a whole, as what's best for everybody and for the whole of the tournament.
Right.
And we make changes.
Brick, you got more categories too now, right?
We actually condensed the count down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we had too many categories and the money was getting spread out too far. And so that was a big thing people asked for, was to condense the categories so they pay out more money for the categories. There's a larger pot for each one instead of having it so far spread out in so many.
Okay, good.
Okay, so the Calcutta, so there's less Calcuttas but bigger payouts overall.
Yes.
And the prize money's going up this year. So bigger bang for your buck this year to go participate, right?
And we actually lowered the overall, just the basic entry fee. We lowered it down from $5,000 to $3,000.
Oh yeah,
so
that'll add more boats.
Yes, that hopefully will attract more of the smaller boats.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you get the big sport fish boats, the $10 million boats. Yeah, they can afford it. But we want to get those younger, those smaller boats, the younger guys,
right?
That are just starting out. We want to get them involved too.
Yeah. Awesome. You guys have center consoles that participate in addition?
A few, and I think Ocean City being down there is going to help with that because they don't have to run as far.
Right.
But out of Atlantic City, they have to run 100 miles.
Yep.
And 100 miles is a long way.
Right. Even in a small boat.
Yeah, in a small boat, and you're leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning because you fish from 7:30 to 3:30. So the center console guys, unless it's a big center console, like a big contender, a 44 contender, something like that, and it's still a lot in a center console.
Yeah, Brick, the thing about it, though, I think what separates our tournaments from other tournaments is the parties and the gifting. They're on the last night, on Saturday night at Hard Rock, they're going to have a fantastic party. And the gifts that they give, unbelievable gifting there goes on in the swag party.
Oh yeah, I've fished your event down in Seminole Hard Rock down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And the gifting experience and the parties, just absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, it's over the top. I promise you.
When we come back from fishing and, we're having that after a pre-fish day and we're hanging out, partying and doing all that, it is so beautiful to be able to hang out at the Hard Rock and just relax and have all that beautiful food and all those beautiful people around you and all the other teams. It's great.
And we don't limit you. A lot of tournaments, they give you 6 wristbands for the awards dinner. We don't limit you. Anybody that's on your boat and your wives and your kids, and everybody's welcome to come.
And Rick, you know this too. I don't know, what is it about fishermen? They like free.
Free. Yeah, because they spend so much money on everything else.
And they like to party.
Yes, they like it a lot.
And that's what makes this tournament special.
It's a big party with a lot of awesome people, a lot of fishy people, right?
Right.
I mean, how does it feel, being able to put on such a caliber of a tournament, right? You have one of the highest quality, arguably the best party to have, how does that, impact you? And what is your goal through that, Coach? Your name's attached to it.
Back 15 years ago, I got hooked up with Todd Roy with Fish Heart Events. And, we were trying to do some little old penny ante tournament, type of thing. And Todd took this thing over and it just skyrocketed. As far as the number of boats, as far as the payout, as far as the partying. And then we got hooked up with Hard Rock. And Hard Rock just put it over the top. The one thing that I wanted to make sure that I was doing, if I was going to be associated with this tournament, I wanted it to be first class. And Todd makes sure it's first class.
Absolutely. I mean, the 100% the event is first class, and typically the fishing is too. We usually have good numbers, right?
Oh yeah. A lot of big tuna come in on that dock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's the biggest tuna that's come in so far, up in AC?
I don't know.
I'm going to guess 280, 285, something like that. I don't think we've had one break 300 yet.
Okay.
And we've had a couple of big blue marlin, too.
What was the one? 76 or something like that?
63. Yeah.
Was that last year or the year before? I remember that.
The first year we had weighed in the biggest blue marlin, and then the last year I don't remember how big it was.
Okay.
But it was another big one last year.
And then Michael Jordan won the tournament with a white marlin one year.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you have a lot of celebrities that participate in the tournament as well, right?
Hey,
Michael Jordan was there.
He's like to fish too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Case in point.
Well, I was going to say, we have the biggest celebrities sitting right here.
Right.
A couple of years ago, Dustin Johnson, his boat won our tournament in South Florida.
Yeah, I was just in Walker's Cay. I just came back yesterday. He was fishing the tournament down there too.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. That beautiful, I think it's an 80 Viking.
Big Viking.
Yeah. We're going to see you on one of those soon, Coach?
Oh, no. The main thing is, our tournament sponsors, Contender, Yamaha, and Garmin.
Yep.
They have been fantastic with our tournament over the years. And I have had 2 31 contenders. Man, that boat will run.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the Garmin equipment, I've got Garmin equipment on my boats, and the electronics nowadays.
It's amazing.
I mean, I can sit there right there at the dock and just have a ball playing with the electronics.
Oh, yeah. It's like a video game, right? It's like
I wish I could figure it all out.
all you need is the fish finder, right? That's it. Well, Brick, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're the tournament director for both events, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you get hooked up with Coach?
I got hooked up through Todd. Todd is friends with a very good friend of mine, a guy named Frog Cooper, John Frog Cooper. And I guess when he was starting this idea with the Coach, he was talking to Cooper and says, I got to find somebody who knows about fishing. He goes, I don't know much about fishing, and I need an expert. And Cooper said, you want Brick Peoples?
Yeah.
Because I used to run some swordfish tournaments. I used to have a different sailfish tournament. So I've been doing a tournament director for years and years and years. And Todd called me up before he even started and said, this is what we want to do. We're doing it with Coach Johnson. I need your help.
There you go.
I'm in.
Yeah, it worked.
It's been working. Absolutely.
I've been here for 15 years since we started.
Yeah.
I love it. So What can we see coming up next? You know, we've talked a little bit about what's new up in Atlantic City. Is there anything else that we really want to highlight about the tournament that's going to be happening? I mean, we got the hospitality, we got the bigger Calcuttas, we got the new weigh station. Anything else there that's going on?
We simplified the boundaries.
Okay.
Last year, the boundaries were a little confusing. We had a north point and a south point, and it was just too confusing.
Yep.
And now it's 145 miles from the head pin in Atlantic City. Whether you're fishing out of Ocean City or Atlantic City, you have to be within 145 miles of that head pin of Atlantic City, which gives the guys at Ocean City everywhere they want to go. I've talked to numerous people. I have a lot of friends up there. A lot of guys that fish the tournament, they told me where they like to fish out of Ocean City. So we put a point here, figured it out. It's 145 miles, so you can go anywhere 145 miles from Atlantic City head pin.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, how excited the fishermen are. They've already started the entries for next year's South Florida tournament.
Really?
We've already got entries there, in July of 2026. So, I mean, this tournament has just grown and grown and grown.
How many boats are in this tournament? You know, how many boats did we have last year?
I believe we had 75 last year.
Wow.
75 or 80, somewhere right in there.
And we're expecting what? Over 90?
We're hoping.
Hopefully.
We're hoping that Ocean City starts to take off.
Right.
You know, Todd was telling us earlier that Mid-Atlantic tournament, when they split between two marinas, their first year they only had 4 boats in Ocean City.
Yep.
Well, last year we had 6. So, and now they cap it at 125 boats 19 years later. So we have to grow it, and it's getting there. We already have flyers out. We have posters out. We have a big banner in front of the marina. I've got some people up there that we worked with to get all this stuff out for us. We've talked to the tackle stores and everything. So the word is getting out more and more and more. The thing about Ocean City is, until the tournaments start, there's really not much going on in Ocean City. The marinas are empty.
Yeah.
And then once it gets close to tournament season, the marinas start to fill up. Sunset Marina now has about 50% full now. So more boats and more boats and more. And we have everything in place so that they see us and they know about us.
Right.
And we're going to have, at Sunset Marina, we're going to have like a little blurb on their TVs. You know, they have TVs all around.
Right.
And we're going to do we have a little video that's going to be playing on those TVs also, so that people see us. Everywhere you go around Ocean City, you hear about us and you see about us, and just getting the word out, get more boats.
It's just natural, to have a fishing tournament there.
Yes, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's a very fishy town over there. There's a lot of really good fishermen that go out of there. So it makes sense to expand it, and hopefully we see more boats like you're saying.
Yes.
Question for you. How are the guys from Ocean City going to get up to Atlantic City?
We have an exciting thing this year. Hard Rock is going to provide a shuttle to take people up to the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. They're going to provide a room for them to stay for the night, and then they will shuttle them back the next day. But that way they get to be up there for the gifting, the phenomenal party that we're going to have at the Hard Rock. Then they get a room and they get to spend the night, and then they'll be taken back the next day back down.
Hey, it can't be any easier than that.
No, that's incredible.
About first class.
It is first class.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we try to do everything we can to make it as easy and as fun and as great experience as we can for everybody.
Well, I'm sure those guys that are fishing a tournament appreciate it very much so.
Yep, I hope so. No, it should be great. It's going to be a blast. We just, hopefully the people in Ocean City are going to start participating. We get more and more boats there. When we do, we'll be able to do even more hospitality in Ocean City along with Atlantic City, and then still do the big party up in Atlantic City.
And if they have any problems at all up there, we've got plenty of interns that'll help them out.
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir. This episode of The Science of Fishing is brought to you by Turtlebox, the ultimate outdoor speaker for anglers who don't mess around. Whether you're 150 miles from shore fishing for blue marlin, or you're at home cleaning up your catch, Turtlebox brings you loud, crystal clear audio that's built for the elements. Saltwater, rain, beer, it doesn't matter. Turtlebox is built to be waterproof, drop-proof, and plain badass. I take mine on every trip I go, and when you bring one on the boat, you won't leave home without it either. Turtlebox, built for adventure, designed for sound. The official speaker of the science of fishing. I love it. Well, Todd and Val do a great job over at Fish Hard, and
Fantastic. They like I said earlier, it's first class all the way.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, they're hanging out here with us. You guys going fishing later this weekend? What are you guys doing?
Depends on if the wind's blowing. If the wind's not blowing, I'll be fishing.
How often do you get out, Coach?
That depends. I recently retired, from Fox NFL Sunday, and so I plan on doing a little bit of fishing during the football season this year. I didn't fish much during the season last year, or really for the last 30 years. So I'm going to be picking up my fishing here a little bit now.
Those new Garmins, you can get TV on them. Right?
Hey.
So you can watch games while you're fishing.
Oh, well, no, I don't want to interrupt my fishing. Now, I'll fish in the morning. I'll get back before the game starts.
Okay, I get that.
Quiet while you're fishing.
Exactly right. Quiet. No music.
No talking. No radio.
Talking.
Yep.
Quiet.
Yeah. I can't have any music on the boat, when I'm fishing, because if I'm by myself, I got to hear that clicker.
Yep.
I didn't hear the clicker the other day, and I look out there and I had one that was already spooled all the way down.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that was a long way to get back.
I'm sure. Well, Brick, you know these local waters here, and tournament time, how serious these guys get. What has been your experience, running tournaments throughout, well, now South Florida and now the Northeast? What do you prefer, South Florida or up in the Northeast up there in Jersey? And
no comment. I love it all.
Yeah.
It's just the camaraderie with the crews and the people, the parties,
right,
hanging out with Coach, and just working our butts off to make sure we put on a first-class show. I love going up to Atlantic City because I get to see my buddy Randy, who lives in Ocean City, and go fishing with him for a day. But I love being up there. I like Atlantic City. It's just a fun place to be.
Yeah.
Different food, different culture. Down here, I know everybody.
Yeah.
And it's different type fishing, too.
Yes.
How many sailfish did we catch and release last year in the South Florida tournament?
Oh, we were probably right around 800.
800 sailfish.
800?
Caught and released, And then when, I was up in Atlantic City, all those huge tuna, the big-eye tuna and everything coming in, and the big marlin.
Yeah.
And so it's different type fishing, but it's all enjoyable.
Right. Coach, what's your, favorite fish to catch?
I love catching wahoo, and I love eating wahoo. And, it's hard to beat getting into a school of big mahi.
Yeah.
And they jumping and, fighting a mahi. And I've caught some big ones over the years. Actually, I've caught and released 5 blue marlin fishing by myself down here in the Keys.
5?
5.
Really?
And so, but I've been out there a lot of days.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I'll go out there and catch some blackfin tuna. But wahoo and mahi is probably my favorite fish.
What's your biggest wahoo?
Oh, in the 70s, 70, 75-pound wahoo.
Was that out of here, out of the Keys?
I caught one right here, 3 miles here from the house. It was right at 70.
Wow.
And then we fished K-Sal a couple of times where we caught a lot of wahoo.
Yeah.
And then the blue marlin, I caught one like 250.
That's so nice.
Yeah, fishing by myself. I was back on the dock by 9:30.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, you must have been whooped.
I was worn out. Fishing by myself, you got to get all the lines in, got to work the boat, and then work the fish.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it really, it was exciting.
I love that. Well, Brick, you've been on the water here, doing it for a living for a while. What do you prefer to do? Are you a sailfish guy? Are you a meat fish guy? What's your thing?
Blue marlin.
Blue marlin.
Oh, blue marlin's your number one?
I've fished all over the world for blue marlin. I love blue marlin fishing.
What is your favorite place to blue marlin fish? Where have you seen them? Where are the big girls at?
Do I have to pick one?
Give me a couple.
My favorite place is probably San Salvador in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Although I love going down to the Dominican Republic because you catch so many.
Yeah.
But you don't catch a lot of big ones.
Okay.
In San Salvador, you could catch one that might be 100-pounder, or you might catch an 800-pounder. You just don't know what you're going to hook down there. And I like San Salvador because there's nobody there.
Right.
It's quiet. It's way out east, and there aren't a whole lot of boats there. And I just like the peace and quiet and just being out there. I could go blue marlin fishing every single day of my life from now until I die. And I'd be happy.
Now, how about, let's see, Terry Bradshaw and I went tuna fishing, yellowfin, outside of Venice, by the rigs.
Yep.
We caught so many yellowfin that we filled up the bin and we were going to stay out there a couple of days, but we filled up the bin the first day, and we had to come back in.
They're catching the big ones over there right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have not fished out of Venice, and I would love to go do that.
Oh, it's amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah, I fished.
With Bradshaw for sure.
That's so cool, right? Yeah.
Do you want? Would you really want to reel in a 275-pound yellowfin now?
Not now.
No, I haven't either.
In fact, I want
to watch somebody do it.
I was reeling in one probably about 120 pounds. Okay. And, it was right after I'd had some heart procedures. And Bradshaw says, hey, you guys, he's got heart stents. Somebody help him out with that tuna.
No, I don't. I have no desire to reel one in. I'd like to be there, take some pictures, some video. I really like driving the boat. I'm not an angler. I'm a boat driver.
Yeah.
You're the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like chasing them around and driving the boat on them.
I got you.
Fun for me.
What about, all right, let's switch it up. What if it's 1,000-pound blue marlin? You reeling that in right now?
Am I?
Yeah.
No.
You're not getting behind that rod?
No, we fished Madeira over off Portugal a couple of years ago. And I was with one of the people that I work with. And I said, look, you have a shot at a grander over there.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, no, I'm not getting on a rod.
Have you ever hooked a grander? Or
I think I have hooked one. Obviously, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
But I would guess that it was a grander.
Where was that at?
That was in Bimini.
Really?
Years ago in Bimini.
Bimini, right? 50 miles from here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was years ago. I mean, the biggest fish I've ever killed was 600. I probably caught them up to 700. Blue marlin and released them.
Yeah.
I had a really big one on over in Harbor Island one time. It might have gone 850 or 800 or so. But I mean, really nice fish.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing it. The angler was very green. He fell down trying to get from the rod holder into the chair. And,
Oh, gosh.
that was a disaster from
Don't that
start.
just kill you? What kills me is when I've taken people on the boat fishing before, and we had probably a 70-pound wahoo, and we fought it, got it's swimming right next to the boat, and normally I gaff them, but this greenhorn grabbed the gaff and went and slugged it, and the thing spit the hook. I said, no.
It happens.
Right at the boat.
It happens. I like wahoo fishing too. I love the wahoo fish.
Oh, yeah.
You high-speed troll for them, or what do you like to do? Yeah.
Both. I'll high speed, or occasionally I'll go, but with a rig ballyhoo, maybe 8 or 9, 10 miles an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
But high speed trolling, I've had most
You
success.
need to go to San Salvador and go wahoo fishing.
Big wahoo, right?
I've caught a 113 down there.
Oh man,
113.
they're good eating too.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And the quality of it, you don't lose it when they get bigger. A lot of fish, when they get bigger, they're not as good as when they're smaller. Wahoo's good. I don't care how big you are.
I caught about a 50-pound mahi about 3 weeks ago.
That's a nice one.
They were out here, and it was a little tougher than what we normally. And my wife Rhonda cooked it, and I said, God, this fish is a little tougher than what we normally have. Those big bull dolphins, sometimes they get a little tough.
They get tough. A lot of fish, when they get bigger, they get tougher.
Yeah.
Tougher.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's a big muscle, right? Basically, right? It just gets harder and harder. Coach, I got to hear one of your fishing stories. You got to give me some. What's something that stands out to you that?
Well, the blue marlin, the first blue marlin that I'd ever caught.
Okay.
I went out, just my normal procedure, before daylight, got on the boat, loaded up with ice, few cold beers. I head out, and I start trolling, and all of a sudden this marlin hits. And so I work it and got all the other lines in, because I had about 4 lines in. Worked the boat, got the marlin there, and I fought it so long that it died. And since it died, it was crazy to release it. So I ended up, I had a tough time getting it on the boat, but I got it on the boat, and so I turned around and I called my buddies. I said, hey, come back to the dock. I want to show you something. I sucked down about 3 or 4 light beers. Yeah, I was running back in and got that marlin back on the dock and showed him. That was so exciting. My first blue marlin.
I'm sure that must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was.
And the nice thing is people, they get upset about us killing them occasionally and that kind of thing, or one dime like that. But when you smoke them, it is unbelievably great smoked fish.
Yeah, they're not going to waste.
No, they are not going to waste. And it's like in Atlantic City and now Ocean City, nothing goes to waste up there. Every
course.
fish that is brought in is donated. We have people on the dock cutting the fish up, and it's all bagged up, and the Boys and Girls Club comes down and picks it up, and they distribute whatever anybody doesn't want, because some boats catch a lot of tunas, and they're like, no, we don't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
And they just leave them. They get cut, and then we'll do sushi and stuff on the dock.
Right.
They make it right there on the dock sometimes. But whatever is it used goes to the Boys and Girls Club, and they distribute it to all the homeless shelters and charities throughout the area of Atlantic City to feed the homeless people.
That's
And
amazing.
we have given thousands of pounds of fish away.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. I mean, you're helping out the community there. I mean, you guys are all encompassing, being just a great event, not only for the fishermen, but also for the communities that you guys serve by having this event in Atlantic City, in Ocean City, and what you do. I mean, I'm sure they're all appreciative of it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give back. I mean, I've
Yep.
said that forever. I've made a living in the Bahamas, and I've done a lot of things for the Bahamas to give back over the years, and that's what I have to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just there. Like I said, I was just in Walker's Grand K. What is it called?
Grand Turks. No,
No. Grand K right there, right?
Grand Key.
Grand Key. Yeah, Grand Key right
Rosie's.
there. Yeah, Rosie's, exactly. They're great people over there. They take care of you. Bohemian people are amazing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see a tournament down there, Coach. Maybe one day. That could be really cool.
I
Jimmy
don't know.
Johnson
I
had
think we'll probably hold on to Atlantic City in South Florida right now.
Okay. Hey,
The logistics for us to put on our type of tournament in the Bahamas would be very difficult.
I agree.
With all the hospitality that
Yeah.
we do and everything that we do would be very difficult.
For sure.
Plus, the Bahamas is pretty well covered with tournaments.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You got Skips tournaments down there. You got Carl Allen's over at Walker's and all that. So, but hey, it ain't a Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
Right?
Not a Jimmy Johnson.
I love it. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys sitting down with me. Coach, it's always an honor to sit down with you. I'm a Cane as well. So go Canes, baby. Thank you, Brick. I appreciate you, sir. A lot to learn from you, and I appreciate you guys.
All right. We enjoyed it.
All right.
Catch
Thank
some
you.
fish.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Science of Fishing. We hope you picked up something for the next time you're wetting a line. Before we cast off, big thanks to our sponsors for keeping us hooked. Stay dialed in by following us at Science of Fishing. Hit subscribe and share with your crew. Until next time, catch 'em up.